Thanks for joining this demo session. Let me share my screen before I start something. Welcome to Drill DevOps. We have uh, uh, this is a demo session. This course is all about learning DevOps and AWS, which is infrastructure side of the AWS. So even before that, let me introduce myself and then talk a little bit about what Dell DevOps does and how do we offer the course and what are the other offerings that we provide. Okay, so myself is Kalyan. I have total 8 years of experience into DevOps and cloud engineering. I have been working in DevOps ever since I started my career, maybe after 1 year of my career. Initially, I started as a mainframe engineer, and then I got a chance to move out of it and study this DevOps, cloud, Kubernetes, and stuff. And then I got a chance to work in major product-based companies like Samsung, Visa, and right now I'm working with Cisco. So I don't mind telling my details because it doesn't matter as long as I'm honest. Okay, so coming to my tech stack, I worked on different tools like Git, Bitbucket, Maven, Jenkins, SonarCube, Nexus, Docker, Kubernetes. Coming to infra side, I worked on Terraform, Ansible for configuration management, and then AWS Cloud and Cloud Infra Services. Coming to the monitoring side, I worked on Zabbix, Prometheus, Grafana, and ELK stack. This is all about my tech stack, and I worked on few automations, real-time automations that help my project and team to achieve few things in the project level. So that is about me. And coming to the drill DevOps, name suggests it is as a DevOps, and drill is something that doesn't eat your head. It's actually practice. Drill has different meanings. Someone who keeps whole, and the other one is practice, which you see it in NCC cadet something, drill march or whatever it is. Drill is something which is very similar to practice, so I kept it as drill. So when you practice DevOps, the name suggests if you don't practice, it doesn't make any sense to learn this course. So that is how I have done, and I do have the similar experience as you guys when I started. So what I did was it took 9 months for me to learn. This is my experience, self-learning experience. It took 9 months for me to master, not even master, to understand basic concepts of DevOps, AWS, and other services. But then I was all alone. I did not take any help from any. I went to one institute, but that doesn't really help me because the classes were not frequent and then it was not continuous. There was continuity missing there. So I would always suggest everyone to attend each and every class that we offer, that we give demo sessions, all these practice or lab sessions that we do, and everything is very important and do practice. So that is why I kept it as real DevOps. You have to practice, otherwise there is no need of attending or learning DevOps. If you want to master DevOps and get the benefits of DevOps, like extra perks to work in R&Ds, to work in big product-based companies, you have to master it. So only how. So there are only two ways. One is short way, the other one is long way. Any questions anyone has? Hello. Okay, sure. Let me go back to my PPT. Okay, so the only way that you can master DevOps is practice. Otherwise, you should be very lucky and in interviews and at least have some basic level of knowledge on what you learn. Then you can clear. But then I would always suggest to go in hard way because that is going to help you for long career. So everything in DevOps can help you in some or the other way because DevOps is everywhere. If you see, um, how DevOps have been evolved over a period of time. Initially, when I started, it was only pure DevOps. It was only about tools, automation, CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous delivery, continuous deployment. This was one. Then later on, the other pictures came into picture: continuous testing, continuous monitoring, other site reliability engineering. Everything people clubbed into DevOps, and they call it as DevOps or site reliability engineer. Okay, so going in depth, before I go some insights of DevOps, I'll just go walk through the course content, and how we offer our courses, and other benefits that we provide. Okay, so this is the course content. So right now, we'll be handling the introduction part. Not today, maybe tomorrow. Today I'll just roll over through the course content and then give some glimpses of DevOps requirements. How you will get the requirement, or how do you do your day to day activities, or like uh, what kind of job responsibilities will a DevOps engineer have at different levels of teams. It is not about one single team that handles. There are multiple teams in DevOps also. So I'll walk through that and then tell you my experiences, how everything has been throughout my experience. Okay, let me give the course content. So we'll start with the introduction. So what DevOps is, and how it has been evolved. Um, like even before DevOps, what was it, and why DevOps came into picture, and what is actually DevOps? Is it a tool, or is it a methodology, or is it a process, or is it a combination of all these? Okay, so we'll talk about that more. So we'll talk in the introduction part. I'll be talking about software development life cycle. We do have different models. This is just to give you how actually software development happens, because uh, we as a DevOps engineer, our clients are not the end users. Sometimes it is end users, but then we'll be mostly collaborating work with our developers most of the times. 70% of the times it would be developers, because we help them to achieve their goals. Once they write the code, they don't know how to build it at a organization level. You can build it your local, but then when multiple developers involved, and you have to club all the content and then you have to build the code, it takes a bit of complexity. So that is where DevOps comes into picture. So we are the saviors for developers. That is where development and operations came into picture. We collaborate both of them. Actually, we are them, where we handle, we release the pressure of developers. So all they have to concentrate is to write the code. So the rest of the part we will be taking care of it. So to know what they are doing, we have to have little bit knowledge of their process. Okay, so we squeeze into their process. We get into their process, understand their process, and to help them in automating those. Okay, so that is where we need to understand uh, development life cycle, software development life cycle. Okay, so in that process, what was the waterfall model? What is agile methodologies? We'll go in depth of agile methodologies. In depth, in the sense, we will see the development point of view and DevOps point of view. Because as a DevOps engineer, you should understand your process also, your day-to-day activities, how you will get the tasks on different methodology. You have Scrum model, you have Kanban model. How DevOps fit into these two models, and what was the what will be the requirements for these two things, and then we will see the development point of view. I'll be showing a Jira dashboard, a sample Jira dashboard of both Scrum and Agile for DevOps, not for development, but I'll just give you the glimpses of development part as well, how people will work on their tasks and all from the developer point of view. Okay, so that is about introduction, and then we will talk about agile methodology, like I said, Scrum and Kanban. So we'll see both, and we'll take Jira as an example. So we do have DevOps. I'll be talking about DevOps, how DevOps is involved in multiple areas. Like we actually bridge the gap between development and operations, and how do we do it functionally, not technically but functionally. Um, then I'll be giving some roles and responsibilities of each DevOps engineer on different sectors in the game. We do have build engineering where we take care of CI/CD process. We do have production support where we handle the deployments, production deployments. We handle the infrastructure monitoring, and we do have other part of DevOps where site reliability engineering, which involves monitoring as well as maintaining the infrastructure. And there is development DevOps, which people normally confuses in the development area. It is not actually the development related. Sometimes it depends on how companies organizes its roles and responsibilities. To my experience or knowledge, so development in the DevOps area is something that handles the infrastructure part. We write the Terraform code, which is again don't make it complicated. Terraform is really easy if you go in a right way. If you have a right approach, or if you have a proper guidance of how to get the things done, so then it will be cakewalk. Even I am not a master of programming. I don't know ABCD of programming. Honestly, I have 8 years of experience. I never did big programs that actually handle some functionality. I handle automations. So developer handles the functionality, or he actually developer does develop these software applications. What we do as a DevOps engineer is write script in a sense. We automate their day-to-day activities. Okay, that is what we do. Okay, so that to that level, we need some experience on that. Terraform is completely a different area where we get everything from the official Terraform page. We just have to tweak the code with the naming conventions and stuff. I'll be helping out with that, but then that's a later part of it. I'll be talking about DevOps, and then we have one operating system. It is not Windows, definitely not Windows. It is always Linux. In Linux, we do have multiple flavors of Linux like Red Hat, Ubuntu, Fedora, CentOS, all this stuff. But out of my experience, I have seen most of the times Red Hat. So I'll be talking about Red Hat. Again, I'll be also giving an option of Ubuntu, but then Red Hat is the flavored one. I'll be talking more on Red Hat. Commands and everything will be same. I just tell you the few of these different examples for both Ubuntu as well as Red Hat over a period of time. For few of these commands, not every command, but few of the commands. So in Red Hat, I'll be talking about Linux architecture that is actually common for all the other flavors as well. Kernel, and then basic commands, normal day-to-day commands, and I'll roll over through file system permissions. This is very important to manage our file system day-to-day activities. We have a storage part. I'll be talking about how do we manage the storage and what sort of mountings we do. So we'll be talking that. We have package management where we handle the packages like installing, uninstalling, or upgrading the packages. So I'll be talking about that. So process management is something that handles the resources, and process management helps you to get the better performance out of Linux servers. So we'll be talking about that. And we have network and security, very important concept, network and security. So I'll be giving all the commands and related to network and security. We'll go with user management. Not every guy can do the user management, but then at Docker level, we handle this user management very often or not. And then we have text processing. This is a kind of shortcuts that you take a note of it and use it on daily basis, so that your job will be much easier than going in a hard way. So system information, I'll give some commands related to system information. How do you get the performance utilities or system information, current configurations, environment variables, all those stuff. And then we have few archive commands like tar, zzip, and all. So I'll be talking about that. We have symbolic ints and cron tabs, and there are other miscellaneous also. I'll be giving that as well. Okay, so Linux session is very important to start with. I think this is less focused areas in other. I mean, I have seen other institutes. I don't want to name them, but then most of them they give some 20 to 30 commands and make them by heart. But that doesn't work for interviews or day-to-day activities. That can help you to do some core activities, like small activities. But then what you have to do learn is the actual subject of Linux, because if you understand Linux better, your job is much easier compared to other things, because you on daily basis you just log in into Windows system. First thing you do is to connect to the Linux system and work on that, not on your Windows system. So you'll be mainly working on Linux, and you cannot search in Google during interviews to get these things done. So you have to always learn concept at learn the commands at concepts level, like file system commands, storage commands, package management, process management, like that. So that's why I have segregated and give some bit more extra time compared to other training institutes. So my main focus is Linux. If you have mastered Linux, then it is very easy for other things to get it done. So I'll be giving most of the things from Linux, and then particularly from Red Hat. So coming to next one is source code management. Source code management is something that we talk about how code is stored in one place, and how do we manage it. So storing is one part and managing is another part, where we handle the branching strategies as a DevOps engineer. So developer pushes his code to his branch, and from there we have to take it and do give these branching strategies for each project, so that they will follow that, and our automations works on that. Okay, so it's very important concept. Very less people talks about branching strategies, real time branching strategies, scenario based or company level or organization level. Branching strategies are completely different than basic branching strategy. So I'll be giving what I have worked and what I'll tell in interviews. The same way you can follow that. It is not that complex, but then understanding is the key. If you focus that branching strategy, other things will be easy. And regular commands, I would say regular as a DevOps engineer, we handle the merge configs, git commit related things, and merge pull request, merge request, or whatever you call it as. So I'll be talking about those things and few interview related stuff for each tool, for each concept. I'll be giving. So I think you guys are freshers. So what I'll do is I'll give each assignment for each tool. So I'll be giving multiple assignments. I hope I'll not be a kind of a teacher or a lecturer. I'll be kind of a mentor, kind of one. You can consider me as a mentor who is giving you proper guidance and channeling you in a right direction. So that is what I'm meant for. That is what you pay for me. So I'll be guiding you in that direction. But it's again, you have to feel responsible for whatever I give, and you have to submit those assignments. It will be very helpful. Trust me, it is going to help you in a longer way. Okay, so just practice those assignments and then do give mock tests in the platform. So I'll be taking the platform for 5 minutes in the end of this session, how to attend and all. So maybe next or after that classes will be from that platform. So we'll be having all the recordings, all the PDFs, documents, mock tests, and all everything in that only. Okay, tool-wise mock test, and then we'll be giving the other informations related to each tool. Okay, so that is about source code management, and I'll be giving GitHub. So I'll walk you through the GitHub. So how to create an account, and then how to create branches, and give pull request, merge request, and all. So I'll be giving entire details of it. So if you see again, if you can learn that and try to practice it, it is same thing that you get in the interviews. Once you practice it, you'll get confidence and you'll be attending the interview in confidence. So everyone will start. If you go for an MNC for an interview, they'll start with Linux and Git only. So if you can answer these basic questions, then you will get a positive attitude. I mean, even interviewers can think that you have actually worked on it or you have actually mastered it by your own. Okay, so that is about source code management tool. GitHub is the one that we take about in the course, and we have build tool. So it is about build tool is something that actually builds your code or packages your code. So it is not that plain code that you see. You take an example of VLC player or anything that you install it in your Windows machine. If I give the VLC player source code, what you will do with it? You don't know how to run it. You don't know how to build it. You have to install a um, build tool that actually builds your code, like Maven, MS Build, or Gradle, like that. But then, if I give you a binary installable package, which you double click, and then next. So it is simple. So that is what you do it on real time also on Windows machines. In the same way, to create such packages, we need some build tool. So in our course, we mainly deal with Java and Spring Boot programming language. Not, I don't give programming lectures, but then we take some sample code from the internet and build it. I show you how to build it. So we use Maven for Java and Spring Boot. We take Maven as a build tool. Maven is an advanced version. So we do have Ant, Gradle for these things, and we have also .NET Builder, which is called MS Build, Microsoft Build. But then most of the projects that I worked on is mostly on Java. So I'll be talking more on that, and I'll be helping you to understand Maven and how to build the code. So if you understand the secret of building the code, then your CI/CD process will be within your fingertips. So here Maven is a key tool that actually builds and produces these binaries. Okay, so I'll be talking about Maven. Other tools is like Ant, MS Build, Gradle, and we have Sonar Cube. Again, this concept is static code analysis. In static code analysis, what do we do? See, if I'm fast, please unmute yourself and let me know so that I'll go a bit slow. So, or else if you are fine with it, I'll be continuing with this pace. But then you have always opportunity to stop me and give me the feedback. Okay. So SonarQube is a static code analysis tool. What is static code analysis? Static code analysis is what does it do is once developer writes his code, we don't know what kind of code he has written. So you can have a simple code, you can have a complex code, you can have a duplication of the same code in multiple areas. Okay, so SonarQube will have certain rules, or we can set certain rules for each programming language like Java, Python, .NET, Terraform also it supports. Other tools, there are multiple programming languages it supports. We can set some rules at organization level, which is defined by organization. We just enable them and disable them. So once we enable those rules, your SonarQube tool will check the code line by line. Okay, it will check code line by line, and then it will identify if there is any duplications, vulnerabilities, bugs, or code coverage. Okay, so it will identify if there is any vulnerabilities where anyone from the outside can penetrate your application or can hack your application, like that. So it will find all those details and give you one report in a dashboard format. Okay, you will see a beautiful dashboard where you can it will show you the percentage of codes it has, code lines it has read, or line numbers it will give you, and then it will give you how many bugs it has identified, how many duplications of the code. Same code have been duplicated. If the same code has been duplicated by multiple developers, not single developer, multiple developers, because code is not developed by single developer. there are multiple hundreds and fifties of developers sitting for one project, and you never know who has involved it, who has done that. But then you can identify the duplications and you can give a report to them. Okay, so you will see all those code standardization, best practices, vulnerabilities, code coverage. Code coverage is something that so when you write a logic, right? If you have written a addition logic or subtraction logic, developer has to write at least one test case for his code, which we call it as unit test coverage. Okay, unit test coverage. If it is Java, it is JUnit. If it is .NET, it is NUnit. If it is MuleSoft, it is MUnit. M unit, N unit, J unit. J for Java. So JUnit. So what does this do is developer only will write these test cases, unit test cases. So developers will write at least one test case for his logic he has written. So then only we consider that as a code coverage, okay, or unit test coverage. So we'll talk about that how it is done. We have certain plugins for that in SonarCube tool, like Java code coverage, or we can also call it as Jacopo or Cobertura. Okay, so don't get things into too much into your head. It is very easy. It is not complex. What you think? It is very easy. You just have to have a proper guidance for it. Okay, so I'll tell you how to install that plugin and how to do this code coverage. That code coverage is displayed in the SonarCube dashboard. Okay, so we have a SonarCube for that as well. We will see that. Okay, then we do have artifact repository where we store artifacts. So now, like I said, binaries, the installable packages. When we build the code, we get the installable packages. Those packages should be stored somewhere, right? You cannot have a plain code every time and do build on the fly. Sometimes build takes more than what you think. Like it will take some the code is big, so it will take like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. You cannot let your production down for 30 minutes or 40 minutes. So at the time, what you do is you depend on artifact repositories where packages are readily available. You just have to deploy them. Okay, so artifact repository has two things. One is to store the artifacts like binaries, var file, jar file. If it is Java application, it is var, jar, or EAR files. If it is other packages like .NET, also you can store them. We do have other support as well. Like you can store Docker images, you can store the NuGet packages, NuGet packages and all. But then the thing is, artifact repository tool actually stores your artifacts, means binaries or installable packages. So that is one use case. The other use case is during Maven build, it will download some dependencies from internet. So in organization level, nothing is exposed to internet. So remember this. You will be under VPN, where inside a closed network, nothing will go out of your organization. So to have those dependencies within your organization, you need to have any tool like JFrog or artifact repository tool like Nexus. So what does this do is it will store all the dependencies. Your Maven you will give your Maven the source as Nexus. From there it is going to download and utilize it to create a binary package. So when you build a code, it needs some dependencies to get downloaded. Maven needs some dependencies to get it downloaded. So for that we have Nexus. In Maven we give the Nexus as source. Normally if you don't give anything, it will download it from internet. But if you give Nexus as a source, it will download from Nexus first. Okay, so that is how we do it, and I'll show you how to configure that. Okay, so Nexus has two things. One is to store the artifacts. Primary thing is to store the artifacts. Second thing is to have management, dependency management as well. Okay, other tools are JFrog and Artifactory. One tool is fine for each concept. Artifact repository tools is you can go for Nexus, or you can go for JFrog, or you can go for Artifactory. Any one is fine. You don't need to master everything. And DevOps is the ocean. Trust me. One tool should be good enough to master DevOps, but then other tools you can relate to what you have learned. Okay, so this is heart of CI/CD. Jenkins is the heart of CI/CD. Maven is a heart of build process, but then CI/CD is part of entire DevOps. You can consider infrastructure pipelines, you can consider automations, you can consider CI/CDs, deployments, anything that you name. Jenkins will have pure control of it. Okay, pure control in the sense you can integrate it and use as a job. Okay, Jenkins is a CI/CD tool, continuous integration and continuous delivery tool, where you actually integrate all the other tools that I have mentioned above, like Git, Maven, SonarQube, Nexus, Docker, everything you integrate with Jenkins, and you operate them from the Jenkins itself. But then Jenkins also needs control over those tools, so we will give access to Jenkins. How we manage is what the main funda is. So that is where I am here. I'll help you to install all the above tools and integrate with Jenkins, and how to manage them is a key part. I'll help you with that. So that is the activity that we do on Jenkins, the core administration activity, and then upgrade process of Jenkins, and then disaster recovery. Okay, so how do you back up the Jenkins whenever there is any Jenkins failover? You have to roll back to the previous versions, or you have to have alternate Jenkins to bring the Jenkins up, because all the developers will be depending on your Jenkins. If Jenkins goes down, their productivity reduces, and it will be more pressure on DevOps engineers. So we'll be always make sure that Jenkins is up and running all the time. Okay, so we take the if we want to take the upgrade process, we do it on the weekends or off working hours, where we are sure with the upgrade process on the steps. Okay, so we'll have all the disaster recoveries and all, and apart from that, I'll show you how to write a Jenkins file. CI/CD process, we do write Jenkins files instead of creating jobs manually. We depend more on Jenkins file, how to write the Jenkins file, how to create workflow libraries. These workflow libraries help you to write Jenkins file. Groovy script. These are Groovy script. I am not a master of Groovy script as well. I will show you how to generate snippets. Jenkins itself provides snippet generator. We just have to fill in those sections, and it will give the generator. And you should be smart enough to identify and change what is required for our requirement. Okay, I'll help you with that. So we'll be talking about workflow libraries, Jenkins file, and then jobs, how to create jobs, multi-pipeline branches, multi-pipeline branches, branch jobs, pipeline scripts, freestyle projects, all those stuff. So I'll be talking more on that as well. Okay, installation, disaster recovery, and management, user management is administration part of. I'll tell you about that as well. Okay, coming to, so still here it is all CI/CD, continuous integration and continuous delivery. From here it will be all something related to infra part as well. Here the mix of infrastructure and automations comes into picture. So Docker, so containerization is a concept. We use Docker as a main container tool, where container runtime, we call it as container runtime. So Docker is one such tool where you can actually create your base images and application images and use that for your application deployments. Okay, how it is done, how Docker is managed, and all. We'll be talking more on that. Okay, so that is what we talk about Docker. We do have Podman and Containerd, other container runtime tools, but very less focused. Docker is the main platform. We'll talk about that Docker engine, packages, building, how to build a image, how to create a container out of it, how to expose your application, all those stuff. Okay. So coming to AWS, this is where core infrastructure part comes into picture. From AWS side, we'll be talking more on infrastructure side of Amazon Web Services. What happens is Amazon has lot of offerings for you. So you can be a developer, AWS developer. You can be AWS DevOps engineer. You can be a AWS infrastructure engineer. You can be a big data engineer using AWS tools. You can be a data science architect. You can be a AI engineer, artificial intelligence engineer. So augmented reality also you can do it. So these are all many offerings that is provided by AWS. So I started, see, my career. I started learning first as a cloud because at the time one of my friends suggested you can learn AWS or Azure. I chose AWS because it was market leader then and now also it is the market leader. So that is how I started my career. I started learning AWS first, but then I soon realized it is not only AWS that is going to get you a job. It is also DevOps or development or big data or AI, something like that. You have to complement your cloud skills with other things. Otherwise, you won't get our job opportunities. That is where I filtered out development. I cannot do because I'm not a good programmer. Then I have seen big data that takes too long time. But then later I realized DevOps also is taking time because I had self learning. There was very less resources at that point of time, so I took more time than I expected. But then big data is far bigger than that. Data science, not big data, data science is far bigger than that. Then I left out that option as well. I have seen SAP HANA and SAP FICO. That doesn't fetch me good packages compared to market standards. So I chose DevOps because DevOps has a lot of potential. How I have chosen because DevOps involves everywhere. The uh, designations that I've told like development, data science, this name any designation in software technical side of it. There is definitely DevOps process involved in one or the other way. Like automation side, lot of automations we handle that. Or infrastructure side, we as a DevOps engineer handle that like as an operations engineer. So CI/CD part, we are the solo source of setting up the CI/CDs and all. So you name anything in software technologies, DevOps is involved. Even testing also during software testing, automation testing, we handle their pipelines because I work for software testing team, QA team, where I have been setting up those QA pipelines for them. So they will write the QA scripts, which is Selenium and other functional related penetration testing and all. All those scripts will be available. There are penetration tools. There are multiple other tools that they have. We will integrate with Jenkins and create a pipeline out of for them and make sure that that is being managed by DevOps team because software team testing team doesn't be aware. Right now, they are asking at least have basic knowledge of DevOps, even for development, QA teams, or any designation or any role that you try in software field. That they are asking DevOps knowledge, at least DevOps knowledge. So imagine how influence that DevOps team is making out to perform their day-to-day activities. Okay, so it is DevOps has a huge potential, but then it has there is always changing environment that you need to learn and pick up as per the market. So DevOps is more moving towards no ops, no operations, which is not actually doesn't mean that there won't be DevOps. Because DevOps is automated in such a level that we will do no touch deployment because there won't be any manual intervention. Everything will be automated through Python script and all. I'll tell you how we have done. We have achieved it in our organization, and how I'll tell you how I'll give you how we can do that. Okay. Even before that, AWS Cloud is something that we handle infrastructure part of it. So we'll be covering IAM, VPC. VPC is for networking. EC2 is compute based, block storage, file system storage, object based storage. CloudWatch is for monitoring. Route 53 is for handling the DNS management. We have auto scaling groups, auto scaling where we handle the high availabilities. We have load balancers. We'll talk about multiple different types of load balancers and which use cases. Very very important in interviews. I'll give you each and everything assignment for each of these tools, and you have to submit those answers as well. And I'll have a mock test for these as well. And then be giving on ECR, EKS, and WAF. Okay, so I'll give you the architectures and help you out with two-tier architecture, three-tier architecture, and other things as well. So during Linux process, I'll be talking about monolithic microservice-based architecture, single-tier, two-tier, three-tier, n-tier. So that is what I'll be dealing with, and I'll make you understand what SSL certificates is, how does your internet, how does your request travels from your mobile phone or from your laptop to the end user. If you type google.com, how does it travel till the end server of Google? How is that redirected, and what is google.com? How do you buy it? How do you configure it? Everything I will be telling during infrastructure side of it. But then I'll be covering few of these topics when and where required. So keep an eye on that, and I'll be asking you like when I have so whenever I give some topic, I'll tell you this will be used in future also. So I'll be referring again to the previous sessions, and you have to be smart enough to identify which session or what I have discussed. Okay, so that will be so that you will be always in mindful that what you are learning and how it is leading your activities on daily basis. Okay, so other public clouds are Microsoft Azure, Google Platform. So why we choose AWS is it is market leader for many of the big organizations that I have worked on, and I have known my friends working. Most of the go-to tool for infrastructure is AWS. For .NET, for Java applications, it is choose. For .NET applications, .NET comes out of Microsoft company, so it is more proprietary for Microsoft applications. That is where Azure comes into picture. Azure DevOps very much will be very much in line with .NET applications. So when you get a .NET project, you expect that you have Microsoft Azure. Okay, so Microsoft Azure has infrastructure also, but then it is I have never done anything on that, or I have never seen more of infrastructure of Microsoft Azure. Yes, you can have a hybrid cloud where your infrastructure is lying on AWS and your pipelines are running on Azure. Okay, that cross-platform, that integration we can think of, but then I have very much I saw very less of infrastructure side of Microsoft Azure. Okay, GCP is again uh, very cheaper cloud for infrastructure, but then the complex thing is it is not organized well. So people are some companies uses it, but then AWS is always market leader. Imagine in mobile world, iPhone is like market leader. In the same way, Amazon is market leader in cloud. Okay, so that is why we cover Amazon Web Services. Once you learn Amazon Web Services, other things also you can actually relate. So any one cloud people will be asking in interviews or in the job descriptions. Okay, do watch out what cloud it is, but then you can always tell I have worked on AWS or I have learned AWS. Okay, uh, so I'll be giving interview questions for each of these services as well. Okay, coming to infra as a code. So whatever infrastructure that I have mentioned, I'll be showing from the UI during the Amazon class, AWS classes. But then Terraform is something that helps you to automate your infrastructure. See, let's suppose I have 10 DevOps engineers in my team. And today I have launched some infrastructure. Tomorrow, into the same account, another guy will come and update my infrastructure. So since I am on leave on next day, I don't know what changes he has done. And next day I'll come and again make my changes to the same infrastructure. So there won't be any track of it, right? So anyone can log in into UI and anyone can change anything, and you cannot see anything if you are using a role to do that. Okay, don't get things complicated, but then just hear what I say and try to understand that. So so when you use row, you don't so it doesn't track your names, or you just have to see the audit outlook. But then it is always not recommended to use UI related activities, because we mostly avoid doing it from UI, because let's suppose like I said, if another developer or another DevOps engineer came and changed some configurations to make something work when I am not there, next day when I come, I don't know who has changed and what has been changed. Not everyone will have admin access. So that is where it will be very much complex when you work on UI based or dashboard based, console based AWS cloud. But then we have cloud formation from AWS where you can write the code of your infrastructure. In the same way, we do have Terraform. Cloud formation is only dedicated to AWS, but Terraform you can use it for Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, Alibaba Cloud, AWS. It supports some 700 or 600 plus providers, okay, cloud providers. Okay, that is where this comes into picture. Terraform supports multiple public and private clouds. You write the code, everything you related to your infrastructure, right from network, everything you write in the form of code and you build it. Terraform plan apply. It will create infrastructure for you, and you will be tracking all the changes in state file. We have TF state file, Terraform state file. In that state file, all the changes will be tracked, all the changes, updates, deletes, everything will be tracked there. So we have a proper channel to actually check the audit log, who has changed, what has been changed. Okay. Also, it will have. You can also do. It will also help you to counterfeit this duplications of the code, or when two developers or two DevOps engineers working on same infrastructure at the time, if you use Terraform, it will sort out the concurrent build issues. Two people cannot build the same code at a time. It will put a lock state for that, for one who has started first, and then until it gets released, the other guy will not able to work on that. So sorry, anything delay? Okay, so okay, so that is what Terraform offers you. Terraform will help you to do this infrastructure as a code tool. So this Terraform, see, it is not like you do it from the scratch. All the if you go for any project, it will be almost there. You just have to tweak the code, and you just have to understand what to change, when to change, where to change. Okay, I'll help you with the existing code as well as create how to create new code, understand the directory architecture, and give you some interview questions that I have faced over a period of time. Okay, so we have configuration management as well. So once you provision infrastructure, right? Like let's suppose you have created one virtual machine, like EC2 machine. So it will create in virtual machine, but you have to configure it. You have to update that machine as per your requirement. Let's suppose you want to deploy your Java application. To deploy a Java application, you need this Java running inside your machine. Or if you want to build a Java code, you need to have Maven installed in it, and anything that related to the dependencies, passwords, secrets, everything you have to set up on that machine. How do you do that? That is where configuration management comes into picture. We do have Chef, Puppet, and all, but since we are talking infrastructure on the cloud, Ansible is the one that actually gels very well with the AWS cloud. I mean, any cloud, you name any cloud, Ansible will be the right choice. So I'll be telling Ansible, Ansible Galaxy roles, and little bit about Ansible Tower as well. But then Ansible Galaxy roles is the key role player here. I'll be talking more on that as well. Okay, so I'll be giving the architecture of Ansible Galaxy roles, how it is done, what it is done, and give some basics like how to create a playbook, how to manage inventory. Inventory here is nothing but your virtual machines. If you have a static machines which is not changing every time, then your Ansible will be having static infrastructure, which is static inventory. But in cloud, all these inventory will be changing every now and then based on the auto scalings or scheduled scalings and all. So that is what dynamic inventory is, where your infrastructure keeps on changing, but then your Ansible is smart enough to identify what has been changed and how you need to configure it. I'll tell you how it is done and how Ansible is identifying those changes. Okay, so that there comes the configuration management. So Ansible is our tool in our course. We do have observability stack, which is monitoring stack. So observability is less heard word in DevOps world, but if you are a proper DevOps engineer, you have to be very smart with the terminologies, naming terminologies. So we call it as OBS stack or observability stack, and people who doesn't know much of DevOps, they call it as monitoring tools. So I would always recommend to keep an eye or keep your ears broader when I talk about terminology or when I talk about words, naming conventions. Very, very important. Interviewer can identify whether you have worked or whether you are faking with your terminology itself. Your resume doesn't tell, but your terminology can tell in first few lines whether you are actually proper DevOps engineer or just faking. Okay, terminology is key. So that is where I have put as an observability stack or monitoring stack. Okay, in that we are using Prometheus and Grafana. Prometheus is the one that takes the metrics, and Grafana shows you in the graphical format. Okay, so we talk about both. We can replace Prometheus with Victoria metrics and all, but Grafana is the constant one. For Grafana, the source is Prometheus. Okay, data source is Prometheus. Grafana will take the data from Prometheus and it will display it in the dashboard format. Okay, Prometheus is the one that will be running in each machine, each agent, each machine, and it will take the metrics out of it and gives it to Prometheus server. Okay, so this comes majorly on Kubernetes. Okay, so when we are talking about Kubernetes, I'll help you with these things. Okay, so we have Zabbix and Victoria metrics as well. I mean, any one from monitoring tool is good enough. Right now, we are handling Prometheus and Grafana combination. That should be good enough. This is related to resource management or resource monitoring, application monitoring. So monitoring has two different perspectives. One is metrics perspective. I may take another 10 to 15 minutes. Please bear with me. So we take Prometheus. Monitoring has two perspectives. One is resource monitoring, application monitoring. And the other part is log monitoring. Okay, it could be infrastructure log monitoring or application log monitoring. So Prometheus and Grafana handles the first part of it. Like I said, resources and application monitoring, the incoming requests, outgoing responses, any bad gateway failures, or resource CPU and RAM utilizations, storage utilizations, and all is handled. You can see all those things in Prometheus and Grafana. I think ELK stack. I did miss ELK stack. Sorry for that. There is also ELK stack, which is Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana, where we handle the log monitorings. Okay, I'll add a slide, or I don't know if I missed the slide. So log ELK stack also is one tool that actually handles the log monitoring. So I'll be showing the installation steps and how to configure that and see the logs from Kibana dashboard. Okay, Elasticsearch is to take the logs in bulk, keep it with it, help you with the searching process. Logstash is one intermediary to Kibana is a dashboard where you can actually see like how Grafana shows your metrics. Same way, Kibana shows your logs. Okay, I'll be helping you with that. So these are the real-time projects that we handle for you. Right now, I'll be handling CI/CD. Once CI/CD tool still Jenkins is done, I'll be showing out the complete CI/CD strategies. The second one is containerization using Docker. So how to containerize your application. So how to create a application image out of your application. So I'll be talking about that. And on the AWS side, we'll be having one static web hosting. I'll run one sample hello code and show you how it is done. Or I can run big applications also, doesn't matter as long as you have some static content. So static web hosting I'll be showing, and I'll be showing the deployment process where you deploy applications on EC2 machines using Ansible, Terraform, and that combination. Once those tools are done, I'll be giving that project overview. And for Terraform, I'll be giving one 3-tier application architecture code, Terraform code, where it is going to launch all the infrastructure related to your application. So if you run that, your entire infrastructure is ready. You have to just deploy your application and run, host it on your infrastructure. So we have observability stack, where I'll be showing how you analyze it, how you analyze the monitoring in AWS, as well as Prometheus, Grafana, and ELK stack. So Prometheus, Grafana, ELK stack is more in line with Kubernetes. I actually missed one more. I don't know if I missed the Kubernetes session. Kubernetes slide, two slides I have missed. I'll make sure that it is available. Kubernetes is a container orchestration tool where we actually so Docker, till Docker, we containerize application, but we have to host them, or we have to manage those containers. So if you are working, sorry, if you are working at organization level, Kubernetes is the tool that helps you to manage these containers in the name of pods. Okay, I'll be telling about Kubernetes architecture, how to deploy it, how to bring the cluster, how to deploy your applications using Helm package manager or something like that. Again, that will be too much for you, but then I'll see your understanding and how process will be going on. Kubernetes I'll definitely tell, but that Helm charts and all, it is too much content. I don't know how far you can take that, but I'll cover Kubernetes for sure. Okay, so later on I'll be handling the Python and shell scripting, like how to set up the cron tabs, or disaster recoveries by using automations like rsync methodologies, disaster recoveries, Python related using APIs, how to fetch the data and use that data to do another operations, file operations or something like that. Okay, some real time scenarios where you can tell it in the interviews as well. That if you have done something on a lighter note. Okay, so like basics of shell scripting as well as Python at scripting level, not at programmatic level. So that is going to end your real-time projects, and I hope I have covered whatever I have mentioned here for you guys. Let me refresh. Okay, so we do have content. Kubernetes I have added. 1 second, let me check the sheets, Google Sheets. This is not actually for you, it is actually for experienced. Let me refresh this from the actual thing. 1 second. Let me mail it to me. Okay, so yeah. This is the thing that is for freshers. For experience, there will be some more content for them, which is very in line with the experience projects and all. But then this is about your uh, subjects. I think it will take 60 sessions, to my understanding, plus or minus 5. Uh, that will be always there. Each session will last for 1 hour to 1 hour 15 minutes around. I am targeting to complete in 60 sessions, because weekends, I think people will not be interested until unless I get a request from you guys to tell on weekends. I'll be always ready to tell if you are fine with that. But then I'll give weekend for you guys to take the choice. I'll try to complete in 60 sessions. It could be 2 months or 2.5 months, based on the weekends, long weekends, holiday sessions, and all. Taking that out, I'm not very sure that if I can complete in 2 months. But then 60 sessions is what I can guarantee, plus or minus 5 buffer sessions for these interview questions, topics, or extra additional sessions or information related things. I'll be giving those things as well in those 60 sessions. Okay, in those extra 5 sessions. Sorry for that. And this see, the reason why I am taking about interview questions is I have good experience on interviews, taking interviews as well as giving interviews. I have took around as a panelist, I have took around 100 to 150 in between, and I have given 100 to 150 on different cases for myself, and I should not tell it in the recording session, but then I have a good experience on sitting on interviews as well. So I know what by job description I can tell you what questions can be asked in interview. Okay, so there are two ways to take an interview. One is to go in interview panelist direction, or to take panelist towards in our direction. How to do that is what thing that plays key here, and you have to understand the panelists better to take them whether they are coming in our direction or we are going in their direction. So I'll give you those tips and things that you can actually do it in the interview that can help you to crack the interview. Okay, so those things I can help you out. Placement guidance, and I can help you out with resume preparation, interview tips, and platform based tool. I'll talk about platforms. I'll take another 5 minutes for giving how to attend sessions in future. But then I'll be giving platform based exams on each tool, where you can see like hacker rank or something like that. You can write the MCQs or assignments and all. I'll be providing all the recording sessions. You'll be having for freshers. I'm giving 6 months of time where you can your videos will be available for 6 months. Your recording sessions will be available. Documents will be available. So scenario based assignments I'll give on each topic, and I'll be reviewing based on your assignments. If you find any challenges or if you have any understanding problems, I'll be give my time to understand your use case better and help you out with the easy ways to understand. Also, I'll give you reviews on each assignment based on your output of the each assignment or mock test that I have seen. I'll get the report of that and I'll share it with you and help you out with one-to-one discussion to figure out where you are lacking and how to come out of it. Okay, so these are the offerings that we provide, and related to session wise, how to attend a session. Okay, so one second, I'll just open this. Okay, fine. So I'm here with this. So what happens is how to attend interview classes. So you can always go to Play Store. Okay, if you are using Android mobile, you have to go to Play Store. Go to Play Store, Google Play Store, and we have a so for Android we have our own application name as Drill DevOps. Okay, you just have to search with Drill DevOps. So we do have our application. This is our application double D. So you can install this, and post installation what you have to do is so you have to register for it. Okay, you have to log in with your mobile number. Okay, once you log in with your mobile number, you get an OTP. Once you log in with that, you will have a organization code. It will be asking your organization code, which is one second. Organization code will be ZRZDA. Okay, this is what our organization code. So basically for Android, I don't think you need to give uh, any registration code. Okay, you can directly register. You can download the application and you can directly register it. All the download. So in next sessions, I'll be recording on the live. So whatever we do it, it will be recorded live. Okay, you'll get the same session. I can edit that, but again, I need to provide. I'll be providing the raw content for you so that you won't miss anything unless there is a specific requirement. Once you go inside that, you'll be having a batches courses that you can see. So there are previous courses, there are current courses. I'll be creating a new course for freshers with the name. I'll be putting in the group what is the name of the batch. I have not yet created. I'll be creating today, and I'll update in the group. You can register to it for demo session, free demo session. Those are free demo sessions. I'll tell you when you have to purchase, and then you can decide whether you have to purchase or is it worth or not worth. It all depends on your requirements and all. So that is the thing, and you can always find the recording sessions as a once you go inside this, you'll be having the recording sessions, all the documents, everything, and the steps to do installation of each tool, how to do some assignments and all. I am giving clean steps for each and everything. You just have to follow that and do the assignment. Sometimes I'll give some assignments which is not available. The content is not available with me, but then you have to figure it out how you have to do it, because in real time world no one will come to your rescue. You should always be your savior, so you have to depend on yourself. You have to figure out how to come out of each situation or each issues. Okay, so you have to get there. You have to do it by yourself. The only difference between us from normal colleges and IITs and NITs are they know how to figure out issues by themselves. So we are spoon fed it. So that is what I have observed. I have worked with IITs and NITs. Trust me, they are very good with their own skills, where they can solve their skill issues by themselves even before coming to us. So uh, the difference is we are spoon fed from the colleges. Even after coming to BTech, we are spoon fed for interviews and like semester exams. We have, there are a few important questions. We have some guide. We work on them. We read that and we try to figure out. But in IITs and NITs, to whatever I have spoken to them, they are like they will figure out the topics by themselves. They will understand the topics even before they go to lecture, and then they will go and ask the questions. They won't listen what they will say. Lecturers will say. They'll ask cross questions and understand the topic better rather than what they will hear from the lecture. So that is where the difference lies. That is where you get to. They will get time to work on themselves how to figure out the issues. Okay, so I wanted to give a try on that approach. At least from as a fresher, if you try to do that by yourself over a period of time, you don't need to depend on anyone. You don't need to see for other faces to help you. Okay, but if you are using a iPhone application, you have a class plus app. Okay, for app store, go to app store and download class plus application, class plus. Okay, which is class plus. I'll be providing this information also, those screenshots and all. I'll put it in the group. You have this class plus app. Okay, you have to download this and then you have to follow these steps. Okay, once this is downloaded, you will get a you have to give organization code as ZARZDA. Okay, post that, you will be seeing the same. You can follow the same above process. After installing, you can follow the previous steps and all. We have WhatsApp, we have WhatsApp channel, we have YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook Live, Facebook page, and we have our own Drill DevOps website that is going to help you in the this thing as well. Also, you can also attend these classes from the from the laptop as well. It is not about only application side. You can do it. You can also attend using here. You have Drill DevOps courses. You will see here. Okay, so live courses and all. Right now, this is for experienced. Um, so and we do have different courses and free content and all. You can see some free content as well. This course. Okay. There are some testimonials. Sorry, I did not take any testimonials from the first batch. I'll ask some people to give their experiences in the first batch. This will be my first batch for freshers. I'm handling the experienced batches, but then that is very different than freshers. Freshers have to deal it in a different way, not with the huge content, but then give more of practice sessions. Okay, so that is about drill DevOps. That is about how you attend your courses, classes, and all. Do let me know if you have any questions, any doubts, um, yeah, anything related to uh, 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 courses and all. So I'll be giving few more sessions, live sessions, free demo sessions, another couple of days. Tomorrow I'll be talking about basics of DevOps and the SDLC lifecycle. Later on, I'll start with the Linux based on the tomorrow's coverage, topic coverage. Okay. Yeah. Let me know if you have any questions, or else we can wind up the session.